It might be a bit of an oversimplification and me missing a few parts, but that should be about it. Like, do I even need to say anything? This guy straight out denies evolutionary science, and yet we're supposed to take him for a biologist. Now, it would be one thing if the guy was a creationist or something that believes that a higher power intervened to make it this way. Is that the case? No, the guy claims this is straight out natural science. Do you understand now why I think these guys belong in a psychiatric hospital? They are absolutely insane. You know what? Maybe they should be locked up in a psychiatric prison instead. Otherwise they might escape and continue brainwashing people and poisoning their minds like this. What this guy believes requires some supernatural power to accomplish, but not even his theory gives any room for that, but just claims it as science. It's also the hole in his theory that humans are going backwards when it comes to morals. But people have actually gradually improved themselves morally through history, through religions like Christianity for example, where they believe that we're fundamentally horrible, evil and wicked people that can be made right if they simply believe, is a religion that have historically helped improve people's morals. It's something that straight out contradicts and disproves his claims that believing that we were always good to begin with is the solution to fixing ourselves morally. Whenever a parent corrects their child, they do it by pointing out their mistakes or flaws. Have you ever seen what happens to a child when you don't do this but try to make them behave by making them believe that they are just good kids even though what they do is bad? It doesn't work out that well. I don't think it should be necessary for me to say anything else. You should be able to realize how disconnected these guys are from reality. As for how to actually make people so-called good towards each other, one needs to understand evolutionary science. Despite how many people see evolution and natural selection as an enemy of morals and goodwill, it's necessary to take control of it and use it in order to solve this issue. As I said before, these things such as good and evil are simply fabricated by humans, due to them being able to cause humans to make decisions and do things that benefit humanity. All one has to do to solve this is simply take control of evolution and mimic a system that makes individuals evolve the traits that make them cooperate with each other, and you will solve this issue. I've made other videos that explain this as well, but I'll go over it briefly here. You have to set it up in a way that gives people a natural incentive to only work for and with each other, instead of opposing one another. Something similar to how worker ants and bees have it. For example, the reproduction of humans has to be centralized and shared so that it's mutually beneficial for everyone to support it. You do this by making an artificial way to produce humans in society that doesn't require other humans, but one where everyone is equally responsible and dependent on the creation of new human individuals. It also includes making personal sexual reproduction and finding a sexual partner to mate with obsolete and then non-existent. It will allow humanity to make a super race with the best human traits, including those mental and moral ones we're after in this case. Then pretty much every social conflict issue can go away on its own as humans become hardwired to be harmonic and synergetic with each other. It can also be sped up as technology and scientific knowledge allow for it. It will be a difficult project as it currently can only exist in science fiction, though it's not as far away into the future as many would think. On the time scale these human condition guys are talking about, multiple generations to fix people, it should be able to be accomplished within a similar time frame. Now, this human condition nonsense also included that it could solve other issues such as mental health, etc. All the other issues are probably left to scientists, engineers, etc. to solve. As for the mental health part and making people feel less trash mentally can be done through the following way. The whole controlled evolution can and will with time remove all kinds of desires and behaviors that are harmful and a burden to humans, at least the majority of them. As for the fear and stress, according to my understanding and observation, comes from humanity's ability to sense danger and threat from all kinds of sources, partly because of biological or subconscious intelligence in humans and partly because the brain, nerve and senses systems aren't your average classical computer or machine. It can pick up certain things that scientists still can't explain, haven't discovered and or haven't properly understood yet, and therefore it's difficult to deal with in a scientific manner. The simplest way is to eliminate all kinds of things that can threaten humans, and over time, By making them obsolete, they can then go away through controlled artificial evolution. The threats include those of other people, which will also go away through the same method. Threats from other biological beings require humans to be more distant and less dependent on biological creatures that can harm and torment us. As for things we fear such as natural disasters, health, etc., is something that welfare, technological and scientific developments and breakthroughs will have to deal with and will be continually better at dealing with in the future. So, I think that was pretty much it. The only issue with these proposed alternatives is that they require a lot of time, but on the time scale of human history and that the biologist moron claimed his pseudoscience crap would take, it's actually not that long. Anyway, that's all. The end.